What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast. My name is Randy, and over to my left, I am joined by the wonderful gentleman of Survivor Stockwatch, which airs Fridays at noon Eastern. Make sure to tune in to that every single week.
I'm wearing that
Jack
same
and Will.
shirt. Oh my god.
The exact same shirt. Yeah. Jack, I'll start with you. How are we doing today, man?
I am great. I'd like to say personally that we just filmed or did a little live stream about our coach revisit with Survivor Tocantins, and wow, that was
with Coach. If you didn't pick up on that, it was actually with Coach.
With Coach, yes. It's going to be available on our Patreon, which is definitely something you're going to want to check out. That interview was a blast. We learned not just like about his journey in Tocantins, but about his journey as a person, his rising of the Phoenix. He was slinging some Bible quotes, a random Japanese story in there. Like he was, it was one of the greatest examples, if not the greatest, of this person is so much more amazing than what the screen shows. So,
it might have been. It's up there for the greatest podcast we've ever done. And if you're like, oh, I wish I'd watch, but I don't want to pay. Like I don't want to pay for it. There's a free trial. There's a 7-day free trial for our Legend tier members. Go sign up, and then you can at least see the interview and see if you enjoy our Patreon. There's some incredible stuff over there. It's seriously up there. As it was almost like, I don't know if Jack and will go this far. It was almost like a life-changing chat. Like it definitely puts your mind in a different.
Some great wisdom. Some really great wisdom.
Yeah, I'm feeling wise.
Will, how are you doing today? Besides feeling wise, and Ollie also in the chat. Y'all better not bash my favorite season now, boys.
My brain hurts because Coach is still one of the best narrators Survivor's ever seen. That's something I touched upon too in the live interview with Coach. But it's surreal seeing the same Coach because Coach is the same guy. Like you watch Survivor Tocantins and you're like, this guy's talking about the Amazon. You're watching Survivor South Pacific and we have Stacy, I think her name was, talking smack about Chuck E. the Cheese stories. And you're like, dang. And then you talk to the guy and you're listening to him and it's the same guy. And it was so surreal. I had so much fun.
It was an enjoyable experience. Well, we are here again. You can check that out via our Patreon. Link is in the bio. If you want to go watch that and then come back, we totally understand. But we are here to discuss Survivor Tocantins because honestly, with our speech with Coach, it did get so big and grand that we rarely touched on actually Tocantins in general. So we're here to break it down. There's differing experiences here. I have never seen Tocantins until this moment. So I just watched it. I watched the finale and the live reunion show today, like this morning. So I have finally seen Tocantins. Jack, Jack and Will, how many times have you seen Tocantins?
All right, so I've seen it twice now. This is my second time watching it. When I first saw Survivor Tocantins, though, it was during the pandemic, where I was really obsessed with Survivor. I saw the whole season in like 3 days because all I was doing was like virtual school anyways. And I was doing online Survivors. And so like the peak of my discovery of Survivor was Survivor Tocantins. And it was a character heavy season, which is one of my favorite traits. Everyone talked about Survivor Gabon. And that's kind of very popular for being a chaotic season. I think people do sleep on how chaotic Tocantins was. A lot of crazy moments. I think the pre-merge is incredibly sloppy from a lot of different players. And it's kind of glorious. I think so.
I think there's a lot of players that left the game that I think could have gone so much farther given another season. Jack, how many times have you seen Tocantins, and what did you think about the season? Are you high on it, or are you going to bash Ollie's favorite season?
So this is my third time seeing Tocantins. I watched it way back in 2009 when it first aired with my parents back on the couch. I remember my dad.
Wee little Jack.
Yeah, wee little Jack. My mom and dad were eating up Coach and Tyson and Taj and Aaron and Debbie and like literally everybody on that season. I remember watching it a second time about like 5 years ago, and I had the same kind of feeling. And then I watched it again these past couple days, and I think it's good. I don't think it's great. That's
Yeah.
my opinion as an objective stock watch kind of viewer. It went a little down for me, not because of like, the characters, because I mean the characters are timeless, but in terms of like the actual innovative, like real gameplay that we saw, you really didn't get a whole lot. It was pretty mundane in terms of how it went. But that's what I was kind of like focusing on. I mean, the characters are tales as old as time, and they're some of the greatest. I mean, like I remember one time, I think it was like Final 10, Final 9, that those episodes, the alliance of JT, Steven, Tyson, and Coach was coming together. And I'm like, those are the 4 most popular people from that season. They each like there's finalists, there's winners there. Like it's like star-studded, dynamic, just amazing people to watch on TV. But I will say it's got a little, I've soured, like just a hint.
No,
only a little bit.
I thought it was one of the better seasons I've seen, mostly because of the characters that we got on the show. I mean, it's the first time that I brought out my inner Jeff Probst and put in I think it's the description of this podcast here today. It's the season that birthed legends. There's so many people. Yeah. I mean, you brought up a lot of the names. Steven Fishback, JT, who played the first ever perfect game. You have Tyson. You have Coach. Some would argue Taj. Like, it's shocking that Taj has not been invited back to play again.
No, she has.
Oh,
she hasn't come back.
She refuses to come back.
What?
Y'all didn't know that?
I didn't know that. When'd she get invited back?
For Heroes versus Villains. And then some other season. It's not clear what season she got invited to, but I think it was like 2011. She got another invite. But yeah, no, she was invited to play HVV and declined and stated that she's never coming back.
Oh, no. Well, there's also some incredible characters that I think we don't talk about enough, like Spencer, at the time being the first teen to play. I thought he was going very far in the game. Like, I was very excited to watch him play, and then he gets cut very early. And here's a hot take. I know this podcast is just us talking about, kind of just chit-chatting about how we felt about the season. I told Jack this. Will has not heard this yet, Jack.
Oh, God.
I'm a major fan of Sierra. And not to jump on this bandwagon.
Yes!
I almost wanted to play that when Coach had cracked up earlier in his interview. I was really holding back the laughter. But anyways, I think Sierra is arguably the 4th best player of the season.
No.
I'm saying it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 4th.
What?
4th.
Okay, who's the top 3?
Did I do it right? Is it
who's your top 3? Who's your top 3? Right?
Yeah, who's your top 3?
Top 3. JT, I think, played the best.
Yeah.
JT I was so impressed watching him win. And then 2, I would put Fishback. I do think Fishback played right along with JT and played a really good game. Yep. I was going to put her 3rd, but I think Tosh played a really good game for the most part.
Okay. All right.
And then that's where Sierra fits in.
The only issue with that, though, is that Sierra, I've read interviews about Sierra, and I've heard some things where Sierra, her edit was oddly positive. They legitimately hated her. Like, she had no win equity whatsoever. Like, I wanted to ask Coach this, but I also just felt like it was a redundant question because it's been answered by a lot of people almost universally. But like, they legitimately hated being around Sierra.
I
Like,
have heard this. Like she was not.
She was not winning. I think Brendan made a lot of correct moves and did a lot of things correctly, and his blind side was just because he was a threat. I think he would be a better in the top 4. I think Aaron, was a fabulous underdog. I think she would also be top 4.
I think Aaron was one of the worst players. I don't get the hype behind Aaron.
You don't get the hype behind Aaron?
I think she's the definition of a GOAT.
She's not a goat. You can't be a GOAT and have win equity.
She didn't have win equity. You think Aaron would have beat people
Fishback?
in the final? I don't think she would have beat anybody.
I think there's a chance she beats Fishback.
Jack, why are you shaking your head? You agree with Will right now?
I actually do. I think.
Yeah.
Listen. To me, like everyone was so. Yeah, Randy's gone. He left.
Yeah, I can't blame him.
So incredible.
Ollie, I also invited you to join us, by the way, if you're in the chat.
Yeah.
It's his favorite season.
Yeah,
Everyone was so incredibly enamored with JT that he was going to win literally against anybody. If Jerry, right? Jerry survived his stomach bug, his illness early in the season, won 6 to 7 immunity challenges, played 2 idols, had the greatest game of all time. JT still would have won unanimously. Like, there was nothing stopping that. And I think a big reason why JT still won unanimously, I think why a lot of people argue that he won unanimously, was because of that final tribal council. Steven really cooked. Steven really cooked the bed on that one, and really
that was not good.
Yeah,
not a good showing from the Fishman. And so, in my honest opinion, I agree with Will that Aaron would have beaten Fishback because people did not see Steven's game. Everybody saw JT's version of the game. People did not see Steven's game really at all because they always thought Steven was hiding behind JT. They thought Steven was making them really for JT, in my opinion. And I think that if Aaron were to get there, I think she would have gotten votes from everyone except JT, Taj, and maybe Coach. And maybe Taj would have voted for Aaron. So
I think Taj votes for Aaron.
Yeah, I think it's like
4,
5 to 2, 4 to 3. It's not unanimous. It's not perfect, but it's a win because Fishback had, as much as we want to say that he played a great game, no one really saw that. No one really saw that he was playing a good game.
Fishback. I mean, it's not even just that too. He just got the brunt, and he took all the blame for JT's gameplay as well because JT, he was a little conniving. They both were playing middle. The lies Steven Fishback was saying were the same lies JT had, but the issue was that people viewed someone like Fishback, the obvious nerd of the season, to be the one scheming, the one conniving, and they thought JT was the social player, someone who was just the aw shucks, the good old boy from was it Alabama? Yes. And so I think even without JT, if Steven Fishback votes out JT, let's just say the final 5, final 4, I think they view that as a villainous move because JT was such a hero and such a good old boy, where they'll view that as betrayal. And I think people who aren't JT, someone like Brendan, would vote for Aaron in that scenario. I think Fishback was just kind of screwed.
Why have you guys talked me into actually believing this?
It's crazy. It may be a little crackpot, but you don't have to throw the thing up there. It's not Stockwell. Come see us on Friday at noon, and we'll be throwing that graphic up.
You'll understand that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's some plausibility to it. But I mean, come on, JT, he was lying straight to people's faces, lying to Coach's face.
Yeah.
Really, the whole entire merge, and not a single lie was doubted. Everything was truth that came out of JT's mouth because of perception. Because of the perception that he brought, the perception that Fishback brought made him lose, the perception that Coach brought made him look like a maniac, the perception of Sierra not going on what we now know is 8 to 9 hour trek for Timbira, like that perception instantly put her at the bottom, and she never came back from that. Like it's so many things. Like it's all perceptions this season, and like how like that person presents, how that person acts, how that person does everything. Like that's what everybody kind of acted on this season.
Incredible personalities, not to mention another thing about the season, incredible funny moments. I've always wanted to do this, and I'm sure I was listening, but I was also typing this out because I got an idea in my head, and I was like, why have we never done this before? I know you guys have probably seen on TikTok, like the blind rankings. So I listed out 5 moments, 5 of the best funny moments, however you want to look at it. And I want you two to blind rank these moments because this is I'm definitely only doing this for the TikTok.
I like this.
Yeah. Okay. So are you guys ready? You have to agree on these moments.
Agree.
Okay.
We have to agree.
Me and Jack are always in lockstep.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
If you've seen Stockwatch, these two always work well together. So blind rank these moments. The first moment is Coach on Exile, his exile journey.
The whole time?
Yeah,
the whole journey.
No, 1. Not the entire episode. I know you're a big fan of that episode. Just his journey.
No,
on
just
Exile.
the journey. Actually,
are you putting that 1, Will?
No, I would not put that at 1. I think
I'm putting it
at
at 2. I'm putting it at 2 if we're not putting it at 1.
Yeah, I think 2 is a lot better because I think this. In terms of just how funny it is, like it's comical, but it's one of those things where I chuckle at it. There's moments in the season where I like belly laugh.
So so you're locking that at number 2 right now.
And I'd say I bust out laughing to his whole time on Exile because it's like it's cool to watch, and it's cool to watch somebody go through that like literally like body crippling, life changing moment on Exile. Like it's fantastic to watch. It's funny to watch too because if you don't take it seriously, it's just like what is this guy doing out there? But when you talk to Coach, you get it. So
you do.
2. Okay. 2. Next scene is Tyson's naked dance, where he's wearing the loin.
I put that number 5.
5? You think 5? Really? I don't know.
I'm assuming that all these moments are good and funny. Like I'm ranking them against each other.
I'll put that at 5 because it's funny. It's a good 30-second.
It's a fun little thing, Yeah,
it's a cool little Tyson moment.
So
how about JT losing a tooth and then refusing to take it back?
That was so random. That was so random.
Jeff was like, hey, let's find this tooth. And then he brings it up at the reunion show and gives it to his mother.
Yeah, like it is so random to me because he chips his tooth in the middle of a challenge. Jeff's like, "Whoa, JT, you lost your tooth?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't need it." And it's like, "Whoa, hold on, this is a part of history. Like, this is gonna be a good memory. Let's go get your tooth." And JT's like, "Oh, great, that's my tooth. I don't want it."
I don't want it. JT, that entire challenge, he was pissed off, bro.
It was so funny because they were playing no defense too. Like they were doing a horrible job. That's why pretty sure that's why Spencer went home. He
went after that. Yeah, because he wasn't like putting full effort in. Where does that rank? Right now, you still have
I'm gonna
1,
keep
3,
it
and
4. It's funny, but it's like
we have 1 and 3. There's a few more Tyson moments. I'm hoping for.
I'm hoping it comes.
Okay, the next moment that I have is Coach's Amazon story. You have 1 and 3.
Okay, I feel like that's one of the most memorable Coach moments, though. If not Exile, it is the end. Like he's not.
I don't know. What if the last one's really good though, Will?
Okay.
What if it's really bad? You don't know that. Yeah, that's the whole point of this.
No, the last one's gonna be like Jerry having a stomach bug.
Will. I don't
Joe almost losing his knee.
I don't want to play it safe. For those of you who didn't watch Stockwatch last week, we just ranked Andy from like 10th in terms of winning potential to like 3rd average in winning potential.
I have him at number 2.
Yeah, and I have it 4. So let's take a risk. Let's put this at 3. I think we wait for the 1. If it's better, great. If it's not, well, it's not like we haven't seen that before.
So your number 1 is open. Right now you have at 5th, Tyson's naked dance. Yep. At 4th, you have JT losing a tooth. 3, you have Coach's Amazon story. 2, you have Coach on Exile, and your number 1 best moment of the season, JT winning and having the first ever perfect game.
Aw, that's cute.
Yeah.
Aw, that's cute. I would have
why
put
not?
Coach Exile 1, but
Yeah.
I
I would have put the number 3.
yeah.
All right, so where would you have ranked that if you actually had the opportunity?
It's cool. I'll put it at 3. It's a good moment. You know, I put the Coach one. I'd move the Coach ones up.
Yeah.
I'd move the Coach ones up 1, and then I put that at 3. I think.
Okay,
Also-
so yeah, that was good. That was a fun little thing. But now we can actually get into talking about like some of these moments and talk about JT having a perfect game. So I mentioned my Sierra thing. Jack, what was one of your favorite moments from this season that you want to talk about? Go a little bit more in detail with.
God,
There's
where to
a lot of
begin?
good ones.
There's so many good ones. I mean, we could talk about Coach's story right as he's about to get voted out Final 5. We can talk. Oh God. Oh, the auction is probably my favorite auction in Dodger history.
I
My
thought the
favorite
family
auction.
visit, the family reaction was one of the best ones I've ever seen. Like
God, it was
Jeff Roach being like,
terrific.
"Did you listen to what he said?"
Yeah.
Back again. Like, oh, it was good. It was so good.
It's like a phone call. It's the little food moments. It's Steven eating the chicken hearts. Like every little thing was perfect in that auction, and like the family visits after, like it gave humanity to characters that just seemed so cartoonish. You know, like Coach having a little bit of humanity with his, I think it was his assistant coach. Like that's
Yeah.
like. It was.
He was out there
it was
stretching. He was just stretching on the beach.
Yeah, it was funny, and I mean, like the Taj moment with the phone call is like one of the most emotional moments in Survivor history. So like that for me is like that was gold.
Let's
Hello,
get him
Ollie.
in.
Oh no,
This is
I came to crash the party.
Ollie is here, everybody, from Got Something For You. This is the first to have someone like tuned in, and then like this is Ollie's favorite season, so I felt like he needed to be here.
he had to spot.
And so I emailed him during the show and was like, "Hey, if you want to jump on here to the link." So that's the first time thing, but it is not a first time thing. Randy letting someone know minutes before, "Hey, let's talk." That is a common thing. Jack, anyways, back to what you were saying though about the auction. And like today, Jeff is like, we can't do the auction how it used to be because it's broken and everything. This is how it's not broken. There was no twist.
Yeah.
There was no advantages. It was literally just who wants food and then family visits at the end. That was it. And it was
Doesn't need to
entertaining.
be a whole song and dance. Doesn't need to be a whole song and dance about it. Just give some food, give a call from home, give some letters. You know, like it's about like the moments you get to see when people have like a little bit of happiness out there. Like give them a little bit of like a leash to get onto, and they will take you the extra mile. So,
Will, let's go to you. What was your favorite moment? What stood out to you from Survivor Tocantins?
I think it's not necessarily a moment, but I think Tyson in general has a very special place in my heart when it comes to Survivor, because I got into Survivor through the online Survivor on Discord, and I did those before I even saw the show, and so I did my first ever one, and I started watching them in order, and my friend kept saying, "You remind me of Tyson. You're going to love Tyson. Tyson's going to be your GOAT." And I was like 15 when I saw Tocantins. This was 2020. If you do the math, I'm old now. Shout out to me. But I remember
youngest
watching.
one here.
If
My
you're
bad.
old, that means Jack, Ollie, and I came across on the Titanic.
Yeah,
Probably.
exactly. Pretty much.
That means I was there for the big meteor shower. That's how old I am in that.
Yeah,
Well, Jack also saw
Mesozoic era.
Cookie.
Ollie, are you
Jeez,
older
my.
than me? Oh, we'll talk about that off air. Wait,
But,
no, you are not. Did you just say this? I was gonna say you.
Okay,
I got you.
All right.
I was just shocked for a second. Anyways, Will, continue.
But and so Tyson was someone who was very caustic, very sarcastic, and I was just attached to him. I was like, I love this guy. He's one of my favorites, and just watching him too when he's not even like the main focal point of the shot, you'll just see him in the background, just doing something weird, and I always like that trait in Survivor contestants. So that's my favorite part about Tocantins.
Ollie, you've been sitting back and listening to Jack, Will, and I talk about your season. I know I saw that you said you'll just pop in for a second and give your thoughts. What do you want to say about Tocantins? We want to give you the chance to defend it here, this being your favorite season and all.
I mean, I'm biased because this was actually the first season I ever watched.
Okay, see,
we have to understand, like, being UK, I'm like, watch whatever one I could, and this was the first one that was shown to me. So I just love it. I love the characters. I love the gameplay. I love just the overall season. I thought it had a really good ebb and flow of it, and it, as you said, Randy, had loads of great like players and like characters, but I also think it had a lot of sweet moments, like I think you mentioned it just then, the auction, like Taj's moment at the auction was one of my favorite, and I think when it comes to an auction, that is still one of my all-time favorite moments from Survivor. So to me, this is like one of my favorite seasons. I will always defend it to the core, and it's fine, Jack. Don't worry. I will send you a vaccine for COVID since you clearly still lost your taste. It's fine.
What are you talking about? Hold on. Let's
I'm joking.
No. Come on now. I haven't lost my taste. I haven't lost my edge. All right.
You haven't. You haven't.
No, sorry, I'm messaging in the chat. I was like, what is going on over here? But no, I agree with everything you said, Ollie. Like, it was a good season. It had very, very emotional moments. If you can, we're about to take a quick ad break, and then I want you to stay for a couple more minutes because we do have to talk about JT winning and how this finale went down as we touch on it. But if you guys didn't hear, we are doing something today, getting you ready for the House of Villains Season 2 premiere. It is tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on E. And we've got a special sneak peek for you guys. So here is this. And when we come back, we'll actually dive deep into the season that was Survivor Tocantins.
Really in the middle of making a hit TV show.
Last season, 10 of reality television's greatest villains came together under one roof and made television history. So obviously, we had to do it again.
You might know me from The Rehearsals in New Jersey,
Bad Girls Club,
Big Brother, original Survivor winner, RuPaul's Drag Race.
Same house.
Welcome to the murder house.
Same awful host. Oh, hi! And brand new iconic villains.
Welcome to House of Villains Season 2. Oh my God!
Ding dong, the bitch is back, and I'm gonna run this mother.
Holy crap, I would watch this show.
We're losing our freaking mind.
You have an evil laugh.
I'm a fucking villain, bitch.
Oh, damn, we're all typecast. There is no such thing as the House of Heroes. That's lame.
You were gonna come into the House of Villains? This is my mother house.
They think I'm delicate like a little flower, but no, bitch, I'm a bomb.
Look at the money we're spending on these explosions.
What's your name?
You don't know who I am? This is my classroom, so you better follow my rules.
Or else.
Y'all disgust me. I don't give a about any of you.
I'm gonna ride you until you tell me the truth.
Ride me then.
Your Prince Albert couldn't take it, but I'm still gonna give it a try.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but...
Once again, they're here to outsmart,
I have a little cock in here.
out-manipulate,
Now I know why they got rid of you season 1.
and out-camera time each other.
Welcome to New York, New Jersey. Kiss my ass.
Poke the bear. You're not gonna like who you see.
Whoever is able to make it to the end will win $200,000 and the title of America's greatest supervillain.
I am the supervillain!
I am a certified genius that you let into this house. When you take a shot at the king, you better not miss.
We need a medic!
Don't you understand? I am the villain.
He hasn't been the mastermind. Back now!
I'm so scared.
Yo, suck my
House of Villains, the total hit show returns October 9th on E! And stream from the beginning on Peacock.
This should be House of Cuckoo Beans, not House of Villains.
We've made it. We now have ads that are longer than like 45 seconds. It's happening, people. Just like every other streaming service out there and every other YouTube channel, our ads are just going to keep getting longer. And it's thanks to your support. So we greatly appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe to everyone's unsubscribing now. So like our ads don't get longer. But okay, so unfortunately, Will had to leave us. So sorry for that. That's kind of why we shot to ad break so quickly there. But Ollie is here to kind of break this down a little bit more with us. We've shared some of our favorite moments. Ollie, I don't remember if you heard my hot take about Sierra. I think she was like the 4th best player on the season. Do you agree with me?
This is the first time me and Randy are ever possibly going to agree.
No!
I'm very high on Sierra.
I love Sierra. She was someone who got voted out right away and made it very far.
So just to preference this, Jack, you look at all of the strategy, the analytical stuff.
Yes.
We know that I just look for people that I enjoy watching. So that is why I like Sierra. Like, there was a reason House of Villains just played, because let's be fair, if there's a villain or someone that has any type of that archetype, I appreciate if they're female. So yeah, that's why I like Sierra.
I thought she played a really, really good game, and she was able to navigate with the cards she was dealt. I wish we got to see her play again. I am a Sierra stan. I'm saying this right now because eventually I went like, I just messed up my shelf. I just pulled an Abraham with the puzzle. Okay, the shelf.
Oh man.
Yep, I just pulled an Abraham with it. This is live. Hold on. I'll have to fix that here in a second. But I have Cochran as my only pop figure right now. I want Sierra right here. Like that's going to be my next purchase. Todd, if you're watching, that's going to be my next purchase. Is I want Sierra right next to it. I'm very bummed about that. That took me forever to get that up. Okay, let's talk about JT's win here. It's the first ever time we had a perfect game in Survivor. We've only had 2, and that was this season. And was it? I should know because I'm a Cochran fan.
It's the one you have on
Yeah, Caramon. Sorry, I'm just very bad. People are going to be like, "Wow, what Survivor fan he is." I'm just very bad. It's not Caramon. I know that. I'm trying to think.
It is Caramon.
Yeah, it is Caramon. Fans versus favorites.
It's fans versus favorites too.
Ollie, why are you giving me that weird look?
I just need to double check one thing that I'm currently.
It definitely is. It definitely is.
Are you checking whether it was a perfect game?
It was a perfect game.
Okay, yeah, it was. There was just one person I wasn't sure on, but they did get 1 vote. It was Earl. That's my brain. My brain always thinks
Earl, yeah. So, and same thing happened a couple seasons ago to Gabler. Gabler got, or no, it was the
finale. It was Gabler. It was Gabler.
It was oh my gosh! If James threw a vote towards Cassidy, if he voted Gabler, that would have been the 3rd ever perfect game. So it's very rare that we get that. This was the first time anyone has ever done it, and I wanted to speak on that. And Jack, I know you did an Edgic. We can get to that at this time if you want to as well. When you start breaking it down, it's up to you. We can wait too. It's completely up to you. But yeah. So you might have to explain this to everyone who's not familiar with Edgics, but I think from watching this for the first time, he played a flawless game. Like it was just, he was well-liked. No one ever targeted him. It was even at the live reunion show when Jeff asked Taj, why did no one target him? And Tasha said, because everyone loved him so much. It was just, and it's not like, sometimes we get people that are so loved, but they don't play the game. And sometimes they can get dragged to the end as goats. But like, he actually played the game too. He was actually very smart with his thinking. And Fishback even said that when he's like, we connected because we had like our brains were just working in unison. And that would be like Fishback, who everyone sees as this amazing strategist, would go over to JT and be like, this is what we should do. And JT would be the one who's like, either I was thinking the same thing, or no, we shouldn't do this because this is a better option. And I know there might be people who are like, he should have just took Aaron to the end and had an easy win. I think he had an easy win because he took Fishback. I think that made everyone go, wow, this man is all about his honor, and like this is like a really good guy, and his word does mean something. And I want to hear what you guys think, but I think that locked his win up because he did choose to go that route. And obviously, people are going to mention the rogue vote when he voted with Coach and did not vote against Coach, even though he knew Coach was going home. That was a masterful play as well. So, Jack, we got this Edgic pulled up, so I'll go to you first, and then I'll go to Ollie after. What did we think about how this perfect game played out for him?
I gotta say, to me, the key components of a perfect game is because we've only had 2 in history. At least as far as I know, the 2 key components to a perfect game are perception and relationships. Perception, people really need to like you. They need to see the character as you are. They see the person as you are, and be like, yeah, this person's cool. Like I like this person. This person's complete to me. This person's got a fun little like gimmick going on. JT was the country boy, tried and true, grassroots, homegrown, all of that. And Cochran was the lovable nerd that you find at the party who, is really good at beer pong or something like that. Those are the things that were working for them. And then relationships is the second component of that. And JT had some stellar relationships this season. I mean, Steven was his number 1, had a great relationship with Taj that kind of blossomed a little bit. Relationships with Coach, a little bit with Tyson, a little bit with Aaron. Like the great thing about JT's game was that his perception got him into these relationships. His perception of, I take one look at JT and go, this person is trustworthy. They seem like they have a lot going for them. They seem like they're not going to stab me in the back, like no matter what, down to the bottom line. That got him into so many good relationships. And that's why he played the perfect game. But to explain the edge, explain all these random colors on the screen in front of you here. Basically, it's a way to kind of categorize and like analyze and figure out, just based on the raw statistics that you're seeing, who has the shot of winning. You want to see a lot of what JT has on his little, what we call strips, basically. You want to have JT strip. It is, besides the one episode 5, my episodes are a little wonky because they did a first 15 days kind of special.
Yes.
That's not factored in here. Besides episode 5, which is a little wonky, but still very good, flawless. There are no notes. I mean, there's no under the radar. There's no over the top. There's no negative. Like it is as good as you can get. And that's exactly what a perfect game represents. Like when you look it back and you look at what the Edgic strip looks like, if it looks perfect, all those P's, the episode 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, you want those. You want the CPs, which is the complex personality, shows they're making decisions. 6, 7, 11, 13. You want that because that shows you're making decisions that are benefiting your game and you're getting people talking about how much they love you. And we saw that. We saw JT making these decisions of like, I think it's going to be good to go with Coach and Tyson to get rid of Brendan because I think that's going to further my game. That's going to further me, Steven, and Taj. And you saw people liking him. You saw people always commenting, God, JT's so great. He's so fun to be around. He's a nice guy. And so with that, like, just bottom line, like when you see that strip in retrospective, it is golden, and you have a perfect game on your hands.
No, you could just see it as the season's playing out. You're like, wow, JT, especially when you rewatch it, you're like, yeah, this makes sense why everyone loved him, why he played a perfect game. We mentioned earlier how Fishback didn't have the best final tribal council, and you would think he would have a much better one. I think he definitely threw everything away when he was taking the route of like, I've not said a bad thing about JT the entire time. And then he started throwing him under the bus at like the last minute. And you could see it from the jury's perspective of like, what? Like if he had any hope to get a vote, he lost it there. So that's, I mean, Ollie, give us your perspective watching JT win. Is there anyone you think could have beat JT, or is this how it was always going to play out? While I pick up my cards.
Yeah, I think it was kind of JT's game to lose for the most part, because I think I agree completely with Jack, the whole perception and relationships. Like, as soon as you said that, I was like, agreed. I think the other thing I'd give him credit for is adaptability, and I always talk about that, because I think if you notice, especially with Merge and then his pre-tribe, he had a game strategic relationship with every single person, like from like the jury onwards, but also even in like the pre-merge, he had a relationship with every single player. He could turn around and say, well, we worked together on this. Well, we did this. So I think he was able to back everything up a little bit better than Steven can. And I think, see, my hot take on JT, everyone says he's like the most heroic player. I actually don't think he is.
No.
Like,
we've invaded.
It's not a crackpot theory when it's true.
I agree.
This is the thing, like, because he was the one at Final Tribal Council that started talking all the smack to Steven. And I know for a fact if I was Steven, I would have told him to shut the F up. But also, like, he was a shady little gremlin. Like,
what?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't see it, Randy?
I didn't.
He would always talk about other people. If you watch his confessionals back, he would always have a comment about, like, not everyone. I'm not saying he like talked smack about everyone. There were specific people, Coach, that he actually like talked about and like did have some like shady things to say. So I think he just knew when to, again, similar to what Jack said, it's perception. He knew the perception he had to show everyone when the cameras were like, when he wasn't behind a confessional. But
Yeah,
I think
I don't know. I thought it was like, I see what you're saying. I do. And the other thing with JT is it's tough. Like, we see him flame out in Heroes versus Villains, and then we see him flame out in Game Changers. I was texting a friend about this and being like, you know, JT did play the first ever perfect game. I think he's one of my favorite winners just because, like, I'm like, dang, he just dominated this competition. But then it's like, is he a good Survivor player based on the other times he came out and just kind of flamed out? Like, if we do see him play again we didn't see him at Winners at War. I don't know if he got the call or not. I don't know if anyone knows the behind the scenes. But if he gets the call back for 50, what JT are we going to see? Are we going to see the JT that we saw in Tocantins, like a really lovable guy who's going to be a dominant force? Or is it like that was his win? Now everybody knows the type of game that he plays and they don't fall for it anymore. Now they're like, okay, we know he's a good old boy, but what else do you have to offer in a sense?
I mean, he'd have to get the call first.
He would have to get the call. I will put it out there, Ollie. We asked Coach if he would return for 50. And if you guys have not seen our full interview, this is going to be a shorter podcast because it's a 2-part podcast. We have this one where we kind of just share our opinions on the season. And then we have another one on our Patreon. Join that. Link is in the bio. There's a free 7-day trial for Legend tier members. There's no excuse. You don't even have to pay. Join the free trial. And then you can check out our incredible interview with Coach. Like, it was life-changing. But I asked him, here's a little sneak peek, at whether he would come back for 50. And I kept saying, if you get the call, if you get the call. He said, it's when I get the call, because I promise you they will give me the call. And he said he's turned them down before. He said if he's in a good spot, he will play again. But it has to mean something. He's not playing to win the $1 million. For him, it's a chance for him to relay a positive message on the world with where we're at in society nowadays. And it gives them a platform to try to elevate the world to a better place. And so it all comes down to that. He is not ruling it out. But yeah, so Jack, did I say that pretty well? I said that.
I think you encapsulated it beautifully.
That's a word that Coach would use. So I mean, do we think? I know everyone. This is every Survivor video you do nowadays. Everyone's just like, let's talk about 50. Let's talk about 50. Let's talk about 50. Is there anyone from this cast that we could see coming back for 50? Jeff apparently weeks ago, maybe now a month ago, said he was down to 80 names. Who knows now? He's probably down to 60 or 50 now. Is there anyone from this cast to get that call?
Okay, so
I heard one of my friends said Tyson would be the only one that he could see.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of people that have not played like 27,000 times. Because that would be my, so this has always been my thing with 50. If you've got like 5-time players, I'm like, no, like give us some more people. Yeah, for me it'd be a could be Fishback. I would want it. It'd be a case of who I'd want versus who they'd actually want.
Yeah.
Like I would obviously we've all said this. I'd love Taj, but we know Taj is not coming back.
Well, I was about to say the same thing with Fishback. That's the tough thing with this season. I know Fishback has told me personally, and yes, it could change, but Fishback has told me that he never wants to go out there again and never wants to play again.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see Sierra come back. But the question is, would they?
I don't see her getting the call.
That's the thing. I know that she was. I don't know if you know this, Andy. She was a contender for Heroes versus Villains.
I did not know that.
But there was a reason she declined. I can't remember the reason off the top of my head. But I would again. There's so many people this season I would love to see back. Obviously, Spencer. That is just biasy.
What, mid-30s now? I think he would be.
It's fine by me. Yeah, but the main person I think would be Fishback. It's the only person I could really.
You don't see Coach coming back doing it again?
I see these people getting I see like Tyson, Fishback, and Coach getting the call. Do we think they would come back? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think anybody would. Oh wow, hello. I don't think anybody would come back. I think that we get the call though. So there's always the opportunity.
The big thing with 50 and the big question is how deep are they going to go into their Survivor books to call their Survivor phone books? How deep are they going? Are they just going the legends? Are they just going fan favorites? Like I would love, personally being a Survivor fanatic, for them to reach back and say, Joe, you were medically evacuated, never got another chance. Let's see what you do now. Like I know they're not going to do that. And I think it's the same thing with Sierra. I think they're going to want people who everyone's going to flip out about and cause like a lot of emotion on social media and a lot of publicity and stuff like that. I don't see them reaching back and bringing back someone that 95% of the Survivor community won't even remember. And that's why I think there's quite a few people like, I don't know. If they brought Debbie back, even though she's probably like in her 60s now, I'd be like, oh, I'm interested to see this. But like a lot of people would be like, I don't even remember Debbie playing. So it's like they could bring back the first person who was eliminated from this season that I can't even remember her name. But like that's something that is it Carolina?
Carolina.
Yeah. How far do we think Carolina could have made it if she stayed in the game?
No chance. No chance. No chance. I think the way that tribe was going, Sandy was lucky to stay, yes, but Carolina just did not get it on the tribe. She did not mesh well, trying to be bossy. Like it was not going to work out regardless.
What about Eddie if he didn't have to leave?
You mean Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, my bad.
I actually think so. Flip back here. You see Jerry at the bottom left of the screen. I have him as a contender. I have him as a contender for the first 2 episodes because he has a great premiere. He says he doesn't want to be the leader, and then he kind of falls away from that. And I'm like, bam, there you go. That's like the beginning of it, right? It's unfortunate, but I think would he have made it farther? Yeah, I think so. Everybody loved Jerry. No one wanted to get rid of Jerry. I think it would have been either Aaron or Sierra who went home if Jerry didn't go home.
Right,
and then they continue to win out the rest of the challenges. who's to say? I think Jerry could have made it quite far.
Also, I apologize. I think every time I put it in a solo layout like this, I don't think you can hear anyone else. So,
oh well. Well, anywho, TLDR, I think Jerry could have made it farther than he did.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know we're playing like basically hypotheticals right now, but the last one I have for you guys is, oh my God, I just forgot his name. The other guy who had to get medically evacuated. Joe. How far could Joe have made it?
Final 5.
Do you think
Max.
really?
Staying with Jalapao?
So, yeah, because he would have stayed with Jalapao, but I think, well, this is the say, I say the furthest he could have made it was Final 5. Because I do think he had that close connection with Aaron. So I think those 5 probably could have clicked. But I have a feeling JT and Steven would have seen how close Aaron and Joe were, kept their trio with Taj, and then at Final 5, as soon as he didn't win immunity, they'd go, bye.
Yeah. I think that's one of 2. I think that's probably more plausible. The other one, he doesn't get injured, and Tabir is like, we're staying together, and Joe just gets voted out right at 9th. Like that's like, because Joe was gonna be the first one, or no. You know what? He would have made it to 8th or 7th because they would have gotten rid of JT. Like they were saying, like
they were talking about getting rid of JT.
They were talking about getting rid of JT because Joe was no threat.
Yeah.
So maybe we live in a world of hypotheticals. We always do, but there's some plausibility to that. A little stock watch there.
To close this out, because I know we've mentioned our favorite moments, and like I said, it's a shorter podcast. You got to check out that interview with Coach if you haven't already. But where does this season rank overall? If you look at 46 seasons, and you're realistic about it. 47. Well, we're in 47 right now. Is this like above average? Is this near the top? Is this like a top 10 season? Is this a bottom 10 season? Like, where is this at? Like, you don't have to say the exact number, but where would we rank Survivor Tocantins for what it is? Big characters, some enjoyable moments, historic as it was. JT played the first ever perfect game. The negatives would be like there's some, the pre-merge is messy. There's some forgettable players like early on as well. Other than that, I don't know if there's many negatives about it. So, Jack, where would you put this?
Yeah, like weighing the pros and cons. So originally, like after the first 2 watches before this rewatch, I would have put it. I would put it probably like 9th or 10th as a really solid season, above average. I said I would move it down a little bit, but I'm not moving it down too much. I'm gonna put it probably around like the 13, 14 range. I think it's a great season. I think the characters are timeless. The moments are like series, decade, eon defining moments of a TV show. I think the gameplay is a little mundane at times. I think some of the players could have been a little bit better, a little bit more vibrant, but I think it is still a perfect example of if you want kind of a real, like almost roots back to basic season. If they were to have a season like Tocantins now, it would be one of the greatest seasons of all time, in my opinion. Because like the structure and the characters that came out of it, flaws.
We had 2 idols in play. Neither one got played all season long. Ollie, where are you putting this? Is this your number 1? Is this seriously your number 1 season?
Yeah. Like I have to, like, yes. And I have to say this because like I'm own it, of course. Like again, biasy, this was the season that got me into Survivor. And I think this is one of the seasons that whenever you're trying to bring someone into the fandom, this is one of the seasons people always say it's like Tocantins, Cagayan, China.
Yeah.
They're the ones like San Juan Doso. They're the ones that people suggest. And like, I just love it. I mean, again, like biasy, it's the first ever one I watched. And then there's like tons of personal reasons why I like it. Obviously, my Survivor crush, Spencer, is on the season. Fun fact, that was actually my gay awakening. So that's hilarious to me. Sorry to the straight people next to me. But also just, it has some of my favorite players. Like Taj is still up there as one of my top 10 favorite players. I mean, if I'm being honest, like it is very interchangeable with China. Like China and Tocantins are my top 2. Like they will never change. But yeah, it's up there for me. I love it.
And I'm going to round it out. I think it's a top 10 season. I would put it like bottom of the top, like not 10th, but like I'd probably put it like somewhere between 6th and 8th. But I got a huge announcement to make to you guys. This has been something in the works. No one knows about this. Not even Jack and Ollie know about this. To start the new year, 2025, we will have one of our longest podcasts ever. It's about time that we do this. We will be officially ranking all 47 seasons of the show.
Oh, brother.
All 47.
Oh, that's going to be like a 10-hour podcast.
I'm so sorry. I am washing my cat's whiskers that day. Can't do it. So sorry.
Ollie is definitely going to want to be a part of this. But essentially what we're going to be doing is whoever is a part of that, I will be a part of that stream. I do know that. But I might just be the host. Whoever's a part of it, it's going to be a community thing. We have to agree on where the seasons land.
We have to agree?
I'm definitely not that.
And not only us, you guys are going to have a survey as well that you can vote on where the seasons are. So we have the fan community. We are making an official list that will go on our website of where seasons rank and everything. So moving forward, starting with Survivor 48 and on, we can just at the end of the season, when we do our season wrap up, we can place it on our official Survivor Now podcast season rank.
This isn't going to take hours. This is going to take days.
It might be I don't know the details yet. This might be a multi-day stream. It might be like on Monday, we do seasons 1 through 10. On Tuesdays, we do 11 through 20. And then it might be like a week-long celebration. So get ready for that. That is coming up in January during our off season, because obviously we'll wrap up with Survivor 47 coverage in December. Then it will be our holiday break. And then it will be straight into our ranking of the season. So, Ollie, what's going on in your mind over there?
I just got a message from Matthew going, how did you weasel your way into the Tocantins episode? Sorry.
And with that, hey, Matthew, thanks for watching. And with that, I remind you guys that while we were here to talk about Survivor Tocantins, we have some incredible content coming out for Survivor 47. The pre-show is tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Following the episode, we have the after show at 9:35-ish p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow we have Survivor Social at 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday we have with Jack and Will, we voted Will off earlier. We have Survivor Stockwatch that is at noon Eastern. And then on Saturday, season 44 castaway Josh Wilder will join the Got Something For You crew. That is Ollie's show. Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So keep up with all that. If you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. If you're listening to this on Spotify, leave us a rating, preferably 5 stars. It helps us get the name out there. You can check out all of our content at survivornowpodcast.com. And don't forget to join our Legend tier. There is a free trial once again. Go over there and listen to our interview with Coach. It is magical. It is up there for one of the greatest podcasts we've ever done. So definitely check that out. And it got off to a rough start. We had some technical problems at the very beginning. So it takes it took what, eight minutes or so to
like 8-10 minutes. Yeah.
8-10 minutes to where we finally got Coach in. But once everything got fixed, took off. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know in the comments what you think about Tocantins, and get ready for January 2025, because we're going to be ranking every single season. And Ollie, I promise you, will be there. He's playing hard to get now, but
he's going to be there.
I promise you, he will. Talk to you guys later.